welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm really excited about what I'm going to share with you. I was at Walmart the other day and I saw a whole huge bin of these fleece throws. They were $2.50 and tons of different patterns. This is a fox and a little bluebird, and I just grabbed a bunch because I had the idea of giving different trims onto these blankets. The reason it's so easy and so quick is because it already has the blanket stitch on it. So all you have to do is grab some scrap yarn that coordinates with it and you've got an awesome gift. The tutorial that I'm going to do today will have these really cute pom-pom trims, little mini poms. And we've got some other pretty decorative stitching as well. I'm going to give you a step-by-step tutorial from the very first stitch on. I'm also going to tell you what you can do when you just go to the fabric store and buy some just scrap fleece and it doesn't have the blanket stitch on it. I'll show you how you can easily put some holes at the edge and make it very uniform. So stay tuned. We're going to make this awesome edging for this blanket and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thanks. Here are some examples of some of the other blankets that I've done. As you can see, I've gone a little crazy. I just had so much fun with this. The patterns for the trim for the fox blanket and the leopard blanket will be on my blog, and I will link that below. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, what we are doing, as I mentioned in my intro video, is we're putting a really cute edging along this fleece blanket. I got this blanket at Walmart for $2.50 and it's a pretty good size, and the great thing about this blanket is it already has the blanket stitching along the edging, so that'll be really easy for us to just go ahead and start our single crochet in there. But before we get started, I just want to tell you that you can do this with if you want to go to a fabric store and just buy some fleece. If you get one of these rotary cutters, it's a special blades that have spaced out little edges there to make it, if you run it along your fleece, you'll get spaced out, perfectly spaced holes. So I'll link this in the video so you'll know where I got that if you're interested in buying one. But to go ahead and get started, what you'll need is coordinating yarn. I love how perfectly this matches. This is Red Heart Super Saver and it's in the color Minty. And then we're using a eye crochet hook. You can use any size hook that will work with worsted weight yarn. And these edges, the corners here are rounded. They're not 90-degree angle. I like to start right here, right about here outside of the corner. So what you'll do is you'll insert your hook into the blanket stitching. I'm going to scoot this over here. And then to attach your yarn, you're just going to leave about a 5-inch tail and wrap it around the edge of your hook, pull it up through, okay, and then you'll take your working yarn, that's the yarn that's attached to the yarn ball, and you'll just do a chain that's going to attach it. And then from there, you're going to insert your hook into this next blanket stitch. It's already there for you. And you're just going to single crochet. So this whole first row going all the way around the blanket will be just single crochet. So just really basic. That just kind of gets us a good foundation to build onto some prettier, more decorative stitches. And as you'll see, I'm just going to do one more stitch. As you'll see here, it just kind of leaves a nice little attachment there. And I love how the yarn matches the existing thread that they used from Walmart. And I'm going to go ahead and continue on across this blanket, and I'd like you to do the same, and then meet me back here when you get to your first corner and I'll show you what we do at the corners. Okay, I'll meet you back here in a second. Okay, so you should have single crocheted all along that first edge like so, and now we've gotten to our first corner. And if you'll notice, like I mentioned earlier, the corners are rounded. They're not a nice, neat 90-degree angle. So what I like to do is put 2 single crochet stitches into each of these next 4 stitches here that kind of make up that rounded corner. This is going to help the blanket to lay flat, for the corner not to be puckered up. So we're going to go ahead and do 1 single crochet, and then another one into that same stitch. Okay, and you're going to do this into the next 4 stitches total, so the next 3 stitches. So 1 and 2 into that second stitch. Okay, now here's our 3rd stitch. We're going to do 2 into this one. 1 single crochet and 2. And see, it's just giving you extra length there to kind of get around that corner. Okay, and we'll do 2 single crochets into this last stitch. Oh, I didn't get all the way underneath both of those. There we go. Okay. So now you'll notice it's nice. There's not any kind of puckering or anything. And I can just do 1 single crochet into this next stitch here. All right, you see how that just lays nice and flat and pretty? So go ahead and do single crochets all the way around the whole length of your blanket. And when you get back to where we first started, go ahead and come back and meet me back here, because we'll go ahead and put a slip stitch to connect these 2 stitches, and then we'll build up and do another stitch on top of this single crochet. So I'll see you back here in just a minute. Okay, we just finished our last single crochet stitch, and now the next step will be to join to that very first stitch with the slip stitch. So you insert the hook, yarn over, and pull through. All right, now we're ready for row 2. This row will be half double crochet all the way across, so we're going to chain 2 and half double crochet into that next stitch, and you will find that this row goes a lot faster, except for the fact that I just lost my yarn, but it'll go a lot faster because you're not trying to carefully insert the hook into the existing blanket stitch, so all of your stitches will be pretty easy to find. So half double crochet, just like so, and you're going to do this all the way across the row. All right, and when you get to the corners, you don't need to do anything special. You already have those extra stitches in there from the first row of single crochet. So go ahead and just continue to half double crochet all the way across, all the way around your blanket. This is great because you don't really have to think, you don't have to count or anything. You can do this while you're watching Netflix or just hanging out, talking with your family, chatting with friends. So this is good to do all the way around. You'll half double crochet, and then I will meet you back here after you finish that half double crochet row, and we will add something else really pretty. But see how nice this is looking and how it's coming along. Go ahead and go all the way around, half double crochet, and I will see you back here when you get that done, and I'll give you the next step. Okay, we are just about to the end of our round of half double crochets. I'm going to go ahead and put one more stitch in this very last space here. All right, now we are going to go ahead and slip stitch to the top of that first half double crochet chain. And my yarn got a little bit wonky. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut I'll leave about a 4-inch tail here because we are going to switch colors. Now I'm adding in this really pretty dark orchid. This is a Red Heart Super Saver and dark orchid. It's going to match one of those donuts. And how you join the yarn, in case you weren't sure, you just wrap it around the hook and pull it up through the existing yarn from the last stitch. Tighten everything down. And you take your working yarn and chain to secure it. Now what we're going to be doing for this row is a back post single crochet. I will do a few here, but if you need a more detailed tutorial, I do have a tutorial on my channel. It's part of a Learn to Crochet Stitch series, and I will link it below. But what we'll do, I'll go ahead and show you real quick. You go back, these are your posts right here for the half double crochet, and you're going to go back behind this first post, pull up that loop, and then just finish your single crochet like normal. Okay, and we're just going to do a few of these. And you'll do this stitch all the way around your blanket. Again, when you get to the corners, just keep on going. You don't need to do anything extra. That first single crochet row that we did, where we did the extra in the corners, that was all we needed to do. So I'll do a few more, and I'm going to show you what this stitch accomplishes. It's very pretty. Okay, so when you're looking at the blanket now, we're going to build the next row. We'll be building on top of this this purple, this dark orchid here, but it's going to have this really pretty minty color in the front. This stitch here, it's a really nice decorative stitch. So go ahead and continue to do these back post single crochets all the way around your blanket, and then meet me back when you're done, and we'll join that with a slip stitch, and we'll do our final row, which is the real wow factor row. All right, I'll see you all back in a bit. All right, you should have just finished your back post single crochets all the way around your blanket. And now we are back to the stitch we started from. So we're going to join these two stitches with a slip stitch. All right, now you're ready for the fun. This is the wow factor part of our trim. So what you will do to make the mini pom-pom edging that I showed you in the beginning of this video, what you'll do is you'll start by chaining 6. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And now we're going to do a cluster stitch, which is a series of double crochets together. So we are going to yarn over and insert our hook into the third stitch from the hook. So we've got 1, 2, and then this is the third right here. I'm going to insert that hook, pull up a loop. Now we're just yarning over and pulling through the first 2. Okay, now we're going to yarn over, insert the hook back into that same stitch. Okay, yarning over and pulling through just the first 2 loops. Okay, so we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over and insert the hook into that same stitch one more time, yarning over and just pulling through the 2. Now you'll see we have 4 loops on our hook. When you get 4 loops on your hook, it's time to yarn over and pull through all 4, and that makes a cluster stitch. Now we're going to go ahead and chain 3, and we're making another cluster stitch. We're going to insert our hook back into this original chain space that's before we started chaining. It's the base of the chain. Okay, again, remember how to make the cluster stitch. You just yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over, insert your hook into that same stitch, yarn over and pull through 2 loops only. Oop, there we go. Yarn over, insert your hook. Okay, yarning over again, pulling through just 2 loops. Now we have the 4 loops on our hook. It's time to yarn over and pull through all 4. All right, so now we have 2 cluster stitches right on top of the other. What we'll do to make this mini pom-pom is we're going to be folding it over, and to do that you'll insert your hook back into that original base stitch here. It's larger than the rest, so it's easy to find. You'll insert your hook and do a slip stitch. And after that slip stitch, just a chain to secure it further. So now you have a cute little pom. Now to make this little line here, this little leg, we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. And we'll attach that leg by skipping 3. There's 1, actually this is the one it's in, I'm sorry. So we'll skip, so 1, 2, 3. We're skipping those 3. We're going to go into the 4th stitch and attach that with a slip knot. slip stitch. Slip stitch. All right, now we will single crochet into the next 3 stitches. This just spaces out our poms. I just kind of like to have these three single crochets. I think it looks pretty. All right, so now we're ready to do another set of these cute poms. So we'll start by slip stitching to that next stitch. Now we'll chain 3. Kind of place your finger there and chain 3 more, so you are chaining a total of 6. Okay, and then we're going to yarn over and insert our hook into that 3rd stitch from the hook. You're making your first cluster stitch by yarning over and pulling through the first 2. Yarning over, pulling through the next 2 stitches, and then one more time, yarning over, pulling your hook through the first 2 stitches. Now you have 4 on your hook. You're going to yarn over, pull through all 4. There's 1 cluster stitch. We're going to chain 3, yarn over, and insert your hook into the base of that chain. Okay, yarn over and pull through the first 2 stitches on your hook. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through the first 2. Okay, we're going to do that one more time. All right, pull through just the first 2. We have 4 loops on our hook. Let's complete the cluster by yarning over and pulling through all 4. We have both parts of our pom now, both clusters folding over on top of each other by putting your hook into the base of that first cluster and slip stitching. We're going to secure it further with a chain, and then we will chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That creates our cute little leg here. This stitch here is associated with this first leg, so we're going to not count that one. We'll skip these next 3 and insert our hook into the 4th stitch, just making a slip stitch. Okay, and then we will go ahead and single crochet into the next 3 spaces. 2 and 3. The next step to start the next set of poms will be just to slip stitch, and then you start your chain of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yarning over, inserting your hook into the 3rd stitch from your hook. Yarn over, pull through the first 2. Yarn over, insert your hook back into that same stitch, and then you'll yarn over and pull through 2 loops on your hook. And then one more time, doing the same until you have 4 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4, and you've just completed your first cluster stitch. Chaining 3. Here we're going to make another cluster stitch by inserting our hook into the base of the chain, pulling up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Okay. We're going to yarn over and pull through another 2. Yarn over, insert your hook into that original space, yarning over and pulling through just the first 2. Okay, we have 4 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull through all 4. Again, 2 clusters. Let's fold them over into a pom by inserting it into the base of the original cluster stitch and doing a slip stitch and a chain, and then we'll chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then we are going to skip 3. 1, 2, 3, and insert our hook into the 4th stitch, making a slip stitch. That's how we began our leg on the other side, was with a slip stitch, so we'll end it with a slip stitch. And we're going to single crochet into the next 3 stitches. And so on. So hopefully you get the picture, get the pattern there. And there are your cute poms. This is really a great wow factor for this blanket. Please remember to click subscribe. I upload videos weekly, and I always have great ideas and tips and stitch tutorials and things like that that I hope you find useful. So go ahead and click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you learned something that you think you'd like to try. Thanks again for watching.